Just passing through. Hey guys, so today, as you can see, we are in a different location for once. This is my DVD collection, and I thought, I've been asked, you know, plenty of times in the past to do a DVD tour collection, and I don't just want to sit here and name them and be like, and here's my Saw, and then this one, and then this is going to be a deep dive into my collection actually, and might be kind of a lengthy video. I am going to show you every DVD, including non-horror, because down here I got my non-horror collection, well this shelf too is non-horror, but I'll also be sharing opinions about my collection, and some of them specifically, such as underrated movies that are in my collection, or the ones I've rewatched the most, the ones I've owned the longest. I also have a handful of VHS tapes and a Blu-ray collection, very small, so I'll show you those as well. So I keep everything that I own, all my DVDs, on this DVD rack that I've had for over a decade. Couldn't tell you where it's from, probably Walmart. While we're living in this apartment, because it is just a small one-bedroom apartment, I want to keep my whole collection to this rack and not expand further. Once we get a house and I have an office or a room that I can, you know, put in some bookshelves and fill those up, because I am missing a lot for my collection, but for the time being I buy very minimally and try to keep it to this rack. I do get most of my DVDs secondhand, so a lot of these are from Goodwill. There was a store called Dimple that was close by. That was my favorite place to get DVDs. The prices were great. I still have all the stickers on them from Dimple, and a lot of my DVD collection is from that store, to be honest. It's since shut down, so now it's just, you know, mostly still secondhand on places like Depop and places like Goodwill. Also, Walmart bargain bins. Don't skip those when you're at Walmart. Go through the bins. They got good deals. I've also gotten a handful of DVDs in PR, so I'll show you those. Now, the collection is organized by movie, of course. You know, sequels are together. Don't mind my cat. But also by color, as you'll see. So let's just get started on the top shelf, shall we? We have a lot to get through. It's not even that much, but it's kind of a lot. Oh, also before we get started, I want to explain why I collect DVDs over VHSs or Blu-rays, which I know are probably a little bit more common to collect. Maybe DVDs are as well. The biggest reason is nostalgia. I was, you know, alive when DVDs were invented, and it was some of my main source of entertainment growing up were DVDs, and I'll show you some that I've had since my childhood. But also cost. I just feel like they're cheaper and they work fine, especially with older movies. There's really no point in buying older movies on Blu-ray, in my opinion. They're also easier to buy secondhand, which is my preferred method of getting entertainment, DVDs, whatever. So now, let's get started. So naturally, starting with the top row, this is my favorite row because it has all of my favorite movies on it. Not all of them are here, but the non-horror we'll get to. So starting over here, we have the blue section. These are all like my bluish toned DVDs. Obviously, first and foremost, we have the Ring collection, which I have all of them. All of the American ones anyway. So we have, you know, the Ring 2 Rings, which is actually a special features DVD, and Rings, which was the kind of sequel, remake, whatever, that came out recently. I really like this movie because I'm biased. This is my favorite movie franchise of all time. I actually just purchased the manga for The Ring, and I want to get more into the Japanese side of what started it all, because it's my favorite franchise. I really need to branch out. Haunting of Molly Hartley, obviously. All the Final Destination movies. I could probably save space if I just consolidated and got one of those, like, multiple DVDs or movies on one DVD kind of thing, but here we are. It was kind of fun hunting down every single Final Destination movie, Saw movie. You'll see I have the whole collections because I liked hunting down individually DVDs, but not really good for space. Next up, we have The Things. I have John Carpenter's The Thing, obviously, and the prequel that came out in 2012. Then we have Jordan Peele's Get Out. We have Krampus, which is amazing. 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, probably one of my least watched DVDs that I own. Misery, one of my favorite Stephen King movies of all time, if not my favorite one. The Fourth Kind, one of the most disturbing alien movies ever. It Follows. I have all Paranormal Activity DVDs. Instead of hunting them down individually, I decided to go with all 6 movies on this little collection here because the store was closing down and I just wouldn't have the opportunity to hunt them all down. Blair Witch Project, one of my favorite movies of all time. Cabin in the Woods, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I bought this little special Ultimate Edition remastered DVD thing that's really cool. It has a bunch of special features on it. Of course, I had to get Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, one of my favorite movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. This one's really random. I bought this one first over any of them. It's an old Blockbuster movie, actually, and I've had this for probably over a decade. Next, we have Mama, Sorority Row, Jennifer's Body, The Descent, 2 parts of Friday the 13th. I don't own any more of the collection, which I need to. Chernobyl Diaries, which got a little eaten by a dog once when my friend borrowed it. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, and Pontypool. So about this shelf, it actually houses a lot of my comfort movies. So let me pull out some of those. So these would probably be my top 5 comfort movies, at least for this shelf. These are probably some of my most rewatched movies and just ones that I love so much. Obviously some cheesy ones like Haunting of Molly Hartley and Sorority Row, but those are just like great movies. I think my most unique find out of all of these DVDs on this shelf would be this Pontypool movie, which is a highly underrated movie. I thought this was a good find at the store that I used to go to. It is an old Blockbuster DVD, which I love because there's a little bit of nostalgia in there as well, being that it's from Blockbuster originally. I think that's so cool. But Pontypool is my favorite zombie movie of all time. So yeah. Now for row number 2, we have Clown, which is highly underrated. I think this movie is so weird and disturbing and good, and no one talks about it. It's by Eli Roth. I think it's really cool. The Babadook, of course. We have Dr. Sleep and It Chapter 2. These two are actually ones that I got most recently at Walmart in the bargain bins. Actually, I think they were 13 or 12 each or something like that, but I had to get them because they were pretty affordable. I'm clearly missing It Chapter 1. Don't have that yet. Then we have what I call the M. Night Shyamalan section. We have The Sixth Sense, Signs, and The Happening. I think those are great movies, and I think sometimes underrated. At least The Happening's underrated. I really like it. Next we have The Witch, The Omen, Trick or Treat, Halloween, Pan's Labyrinth, which isn't too horror-y, but an amazing Guillermo del Toro movie. The Haunting in Connecticut. This is an old gem. I've had this DVD forever, and I really like it. I never hear people talk about it, but it's really good. Then we have The Mist and Silent Hill. Silent Hill is one of my go-tos as well. I love this movie so much. I could rewatch it over and over again. No, I haven't really played the video games, but I want to. Wolf Creek, which is an underrated Australian movie. Wrong Turn. I only own the first one. I saw at Walmart, they had all of the Wrong Turn movies for like $12 or something. Sinister, 1408. 1408 is one of my favorite Stephen King movies as well, except you have to get the right ending. I own VHS and VHS Viral. I don't own the second one. I think Viral was a gift. I know people dog on it a lot. I don't think it's too terrible. Amityville Horror, I think this is 2003. I've had this for so long. You can see I cut out the cover of the DVD because when I was in high school, I used to decorate my binders with horror movie poster like covers from my DVDs, so I don't even have the cover of it anymore. I just have the side thing, but it's a movie I used to watch all the time when I got home from high school. Insidious, Red Eye, The Grudge, which I actually don't really like the original Grudge, but I decided to keep this because I saw the horrendous remake, I don't even know what that movie was, and decided, you know what, I underestimated The Grudge, you know, not Ju-on, but the American one. Next we have Sleepy Hollow, Gallows, Hannibal, Woman in Black 2. Again, not sure why I own Woman in Black 2. I guess it was $5 at the Walmart bargain bin, and it's still in its wrapper because I haven't rewatched it, clearly. You can tell we're in the red section too, by the way. You can see the colors kind of are cohesive. I have some like oranges and black text, things like that. Cabin Fever, Let Us Pray, and Evil Dead, the remake. So that is the second row. So as far as the first 2 rows go, and probably my whole collection, I decided to pull some of the movies that I think are the most disturbing out of my whole collection. I don't own like the actual ones that have really gotten to me over the years, like Martyrs and things like that. Because they're not really rewatch movies for me, so I don't feel a need to own them. But as far as what I do own, these are probably what I would say are the most disturbing. We have Sinister, Clown, the Thing movies, which might be kind of a joke, but I think they're really highly disturbing, the way the humans morph with the alien. And then The Fourth Kind, which is one of the scariest alien movies I've seen. So next we have shelf number 3, which I think think is the last, mostly the last of the horror, except for my Blu-ray collection, which I'll get to. So here we have 7, which again is one of the most disturbing movies I have ever seen. And these are all my cardboard DVDs, so the ones that are enclosed in like a cardboard situation. Next we have Disturbia, which no one really talks about anymore. It has Shia LaBeouf in it. It has a pretty cool poster. It's one of these like, is it even doing anything? But this is a pretty good movie. Again, a really easy watch, kind of a comfort kind of movie because I've seen it so many times, but I like it. The Others, this is one of my oldest DVDs as well. It's broken. I don't even know where I got this. Look at how old these stickers are. I don't even know. It's just very, very old. And it comes with the second disc of special features and stuff. But it's just one of my oldest DVDs, but one of my favorites. Another collection that I have just on one DVD instead of hunting them all down is Alien. This was also in a Walmart bargain bin. I don't know how much, probably $10 I want to say. And it has the first 4 movies on it. Next we have Quarantine, The Tommyknockers. One of my least watched DVDs for sure is The Tommyknockers. Cloverfield P2, which is highly, highly underrated and one of my newest finds as well. I found it on Depop. Definitely check it out. It's kind of a Christmas movie, but it's really, really good and I never hear anyone talk about it. I have a double feature of I Know What You Did Last Summer and When a Stranger Calls. Fear.com. Does anyone talk about this ever? Like, I've never heard anyone. This is probably the most underrated movie in my entire collection. It's so bizarre. I can't even describe it. Just go watch it. It is so weird. I actually saw Fear.com at a relative's house when I was really young. I watched a lot of weird movies when I was really young. Then we have Orphan. Then this section is my shark section. I love a good cheesy shark movie. So we have Open Water, which is a classic. I don't own Jaws. I need to get Jaws. 47 Meters Down, which I actually really love. And The Shallows I thought was pretty good. My entire Saw collection. These are all my Saw films. I saw some of you guys asking which DVDs I own have the prettiest covers in my opinion. And I would say the Saw movies. I think they're so cool with like the clear, it's just very early 2000s to me. I think they look really cool like that. This one's just floating around in there. It's a little broken. And no, I don't own Jigsaw. Don't really care to. Next we have Asylum, another super underrated movie. There's probably a million movies called Asylum, but this is the one I recommend. I think it's really good. One of my other newest purchases, I just picked up Overlord. It was in a bargain bin at Walmart as well. So underrated. You could tell I own a lot of underrated movies. This movie was so amazing. I think it's still streaming on Hulu right now, so definitely watch it. Then we have My Friend Dahmer, The Last Exorcism and Last Exorcism Part 2, The Crazies, Rest Stop, and District 9. District 9 is one of my old ones too. I really like that one. Not really a horror. My Friend Dahmer is not really a horror, but they just worked in the color scheme, so they're here. Okay, now we're on to the 4th row, which is probably my most important row because it houses my space movies and my Harry Potter collection. So this little clear case is actually Shutter Island. I lost the actual case for it, so we just have him in a little clear acrylic case. Then we have Hide and Seek, we have Wishmaster, and now we're getting into a little bit of Ryan's DVDs down here. So Wishmaster, Reservoir Dogs, Jarhead, Hamburger Hill, and Wizards, those are all his movies, but I do love Reservoir Dogs. I actually don't really like Quentin Tarantino movies much, but Reservoir Dogs I really, really like. I think it's his best movie. I think it's also his first. I just picked up Divergent as well at the same trip I picked up the Dr. Sleep, It Chapter 2, and Overlord. I found Divergent there as well, so I grabbed that. I don't really like the sequels of Divergent. Then we have 2012. And then we get into the space movies. These are my favorite movies probably in my whole collection, minus the Ring collection, obviously. So we have Annihilation. Oh, Snowpiercer's not an alien movie, sorry. But Snowpiercer is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. It's done by Bong Joon-ho, who also did Parasite. Snowpiercer is such a good movie. I've rewatched this so many times. Now we're into the space section. Gravity, The Martian. The Martian makes me cry every time. Interstellar makes me cry every time. Life and Passengers and Arrival. Those are my top space movies I'd recommend. Also Melancholia did a number to me emotionally, and also Sunshine. I need to track down Sunshine for my collection. And then we have the Harry Potter collection. I am obsessed with Harry Potter, as you guys know. We're not going to comment on J.K. Rowling's disgusting statements right now. That's not what this video is about, but I still stan the movies. They are my favorite aspect of Harry Potter anyways. A lot of people worked on them. I still really love the movies. Now let's get into my Blu-ray collection. So I have a very small small Blu-ray collection and pretty much only have these from PR. Except for Joker. We decided to buy Joker on Blu-ray because we love it so much. Also, the Santa Claus Blu-ray is not from PR. So I have A Quiet Place, American Horror Story, Roanoke, Split, Terrifier, Insidious: The Last Key, To Hell and Back. So these middle movies are all ones that I received in PR. So I'm very grateful for them. Now we're on to the bottom shelf, which has all of the oldest movies that I've owned. So the oldest DVD I think I own out of my whole collection is Outbreak, which is very relevant. I recently rewatched it given everything going on with the pandemic, and it's kind of horrifying. I saw this in 8th grade and I was obsessed with it, so I bought it on DVD, and it's probably the oldest DVD that I own. I used to rewatch it all the time. Singles is a movie that I borrowed. The Witch, what is this? The Witch Who Came from the Sea. I don't know what that is. I got it in PR, so I've yet to watch it. I have The Road. Oh, this one's on Blu-ray, but it is an old Blockbuster DVD. Homeroom, which is the only movie I think in my collection that I've never seen. I think I bought it on a whim because I like the people in it. But yeah, I still have never seen it. The Mind's Eye, this is another one that I got in PR that I haven't seen yet. We have Fargo, Edward Scissorhands, Day After Tomorrow. This is another one that's super old in my collection. I used to rewatch this in high school all the time as well. Series of Unfortunate Events also. I'm pretty much gonna say that most of these are my most rewatched non-horror, except for The Revenant, which is next. Still in the packaging, since I haven't rewatched it, but I got it in a Walmart bargain bin. The Hot Chick. I just keep this for sentimental reasons. It's a good movie. I liked it in high school a lot. So yeah, I keep it because I've had it for so long. This is my Christmas section. These are my Christmas go-tos that I watch every single year. The Santa Claus I've watched every single year since I was 5 years old. So I've seen it a number of times. And then we got the sequels, 2 and 3, of course. Home Alone, Home Alone 2, the only good Home Alones. And then we're just really in random territory here. This is just odd. You can see I have a little bit of a taste for rom-coms sometimes. You know, we got Clueless, Schindler's List, just kidding, that's a disturbing type movie, that's not a rom-com. This is a good movie too. And then we have Easy A, Devil Wears Prada. Devil Wears Prada is probably my #1 comfort movie of all time. I could put this on any day, any mood, and I'm having a good time. I have rewatched this probably the most on this shelf. Dead Poet Society, I'm a huge fan of Robin Williams. I also own 1 Hour Photo. I just rewatched this the other day. Bring It On, another one I rewatch all the time, just like Devil Wears Prada. It's a good comfort one. Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. Hotel Rwanda, this is such an underrated movie. I love this movie. I watched this a lot in high school, and again, one of my oldest DVDs easily. Labyrinth is a recent find that I got at Goodwill for $3.99. Not too bad. Chicago, I love this movie. I'm not really into musicals that much, but I will dance to this movie all around my living room, sing all the songs. I tried to memorize all the dance moves in high school when I was young. Not sure if that was an inappropriate movie for my mom to let me watch, but I really liked it. The Breakfast Club, Girl Interrupted, and The Lovely Bones, which these two are easily 2 of my top non-horror movies. Lovely Bones and Girl Interrupted. These are amazing films. So next that brings us to my very small VHS collection. As you can see, The Ring. I had to own this on DVD, so I found this tape on Depop and had to buy it. It was like $8. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Young Frankenstein, and The Addams Family. These, I think my mom has had since before I was born. Maybe not literally, but I've had these pretty much my whole childhood, and yes, she let me watch both when I was young. My mom was cool. I don't know. I probably have her to thank for my horror love because she let me watch weird movies growing up. So there you have my DVD tour and collection. I'm not sure if that's really how you wanted things to go. You let me know. This is the first time I've done a DVD tour. I've done one other collection before and that was super awkward. It was like 7 years ago. Don't watch it. But obviously I've grown since then, and I think I have a pretty small collection for being such a horror lover, and I probably have some weird surprises in there that you didn't know I owned on DVD. As far as movies that I think are missing from my collection, first off, Gretel and Hansel. I need to buy that soon. I kind of want to wait for it to be cheaper than full price, but definitely need that. I need the original It, obviously. honestly. And foreign horror, I'm missing so many foreign horror movies that I want to own. I think it's definitely lacking in my collection. Also, I don't own too many classics, as you see. I prefer kind of 2000 era horror, as you guys know, and I'm not ashamed of that anymore. I've decided to embrace it. That's just my taste. That's what I like. I like some classics, obviously, but generally these are the movies that I really love and like rewatching. So based on my taste and collection, if you want to recommend me some movies to pick up, I will keep an eye out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.